Hello YouTube, my name is Ekuegan. You call me EK, you can call me Eku. In this video, I kind of want to go over a certain topic. You know, I get asked this a lot, right? So I kind of want to give like how I feel about it, thoughts, and just maybe even ways that it can be like better. And my reasoning for what I do, what I don't do. All right. So, Witch Queen is coming up. With Witch Queen coming up, one of the main things that people are doing or people will be asking is, are you prepping? Are you bounty hoarding? What are you doing to get ready for Witch Queen? Personally, I don't do much. I may save, you know, some upgrade materials. I may go to planting some farm materials so as I'm leveling up, I don't need it. Like, I don't need to run anywhere else, right? Upgrade modules, I may save some of those in my postmaster, right? Because you could have 25 at each postmaster. But look at it this way, all right? From my standpoint, I play this game almost every day. I stream it. I have like maybe, I think I'm up to like 10,000 hours even just on Steam by itself. And I feel like it takes away from me diving into new content if I have all this like stored up things before it comes out, right? Like I want to enjoy the thing when it's out. I don't want to like pre-do it. I don't want to sit here and like get my speed up in levels and go through things. Another thing about Destiny is I notice I have more fun when I am under light for certain activities the first time than when I'm over light, because then like I don't notice like how the mechanic is supposed to be, right? Like being over light almost like helps you go past like the mechanics. Whenever we do activities, perfect example, when Shattered Throne first came out on that first day, I was 10 levels under when I went for my solo flawless. It was challenging, but it was fun. When Pit of Heresy came out, it was pretty simple. Like I did it with my friends, we got through it pretty quick. And then when I went for my solo flawless, it didn't feel the same. Now, I understand that people don't have things to do at times, right? So you're like, crap, there's nothing for me to do in this game. What should I do? Okay, let me bounty prep. Let me get ready for the next season. Let me do all this because there's nothing else for me to do. I also look at it as an opportunity to tell folks like PvE games are like this, right? We go through this cycle where we get new content, you dive in, you get all this stuff, and then after like 2 to 3 weeks, there's not much else to do. You know, like all you can do is probably like farm for gear, maybe refine what you have, go for like certain weapon rolls that you need. And Destiny's not the only game that has that issue. Every game that's a PvE game will have like a big DLC. People get to dive in, and after a while, it kind of like slows down. From a PvP standpoint, PvP games are different, right? You get in, you're playing against different players the whole time. In the exception of Destiny, where like there's no new maps really being added, but come on, like the PvP side of the game is kind of free. Maybe in the future, Bungie will find a way to kind of charge people so then they can add more maps or something. But that's a whole nother like thing I don't want to talk about. This Crucible needs to be looked at some point. But my whole point is, for a player that has 9,000 plus hours, almost 10K, I would be burnt out if I sat here and I did like bounty prepping. Because then that means when the new activity and stuff comes out, I have all this stuff done already. There's nothing for me to do. And I enjoy Destiny at the best when there's so many things for me to do, like so many places for me to go, and just like I get to explore. So my answer to this question is, how do I get ready for a new season? All right. I look for weapons and perks that I feel like are going to be viable for me. I look at the artifact for this season and know that some of this stuff is not going to be the same in the future. I look at what weapons Bungie puts out, because more than likely they're going to promote a lot more. Like when people look at the Ascendancy rocket, they were like, oh, we might get a rocket buff for the next season. And that makes sense, right? So then you're looking at rockets and you're looking at different roles. Another neat thing is every season, there's usually like a setup that ends up being meta, like it slowly gets there. Like right now, everyone loves the Titan hammer build, right? With the hammer for damage. But more than likely, in the history of Destiny, when stuff like that is too strong, it's probably going to get nerfed before Witch Queen comes out. But here's what I'm doing. I'm going to have another video out That's going to show my vault. That's going to show my weapons and the perks and things that I have saved. It's also going to show my postmaster having 25 upgrade modules because that's all I need. When it comes to sending shards and prisms, they're so easy to get by in this game that I don't really need to worry about that. Also, my vault is full of like a bunch of masterwork exotics. But I mean, even the whole thing, everyone's like, well, Bungie should like wipe out inventories and Bungie should like clear out people's bounty stuff. I don't care if you bounty prep. I'm going to be honest. All right. Everyone plays this game differently. I don't feel like bounty prepping is going to change the output for me. If anything, it's going to basically help me burn out faster. And that's not something I want to do. I want to like enjoy Destiny almost like a glass of fine wine. Looking into it though, right? If you're one of those people that has bounty prep, cool. Now, let me ask you, what weapons do you have set up? What exotic do you have set up? What build do you have ready? When it comes to Glimmer, Spider's going away, right? What are you doing for that? Do you have like, you know, ships and like sparrows and all that stuff like set up? How do you go about this? Are you going to Spider before he's leaving, and are you getting like as much materials as you need? There's just, you know, like, do you have at least like 1,000 of each material on each planet? Those are the ways that I look at it. Now, when it comes to Bungie's side of combating this, I saw the list of things that they're supposed to be going away. How about this, Bungie? How about you just do it to where if you really wanted to stop you from bounty hoarding, just literally take all bounties away before every season. It's kind of crappy, but you know what? Everyone starts at the same stage. Another thing is people tell me, oh, I'm doing this so I get like raid ready. Dude, the raid is going to be capped at a light level anyway. If you say, oh, I don't have that much time during this like everyone else, I need to do this so then when I get home from work, I can then catch up on my friends. That makes sense. That makes sense. Both sides are pretty neat. I just don't see myself as like, a bounty hoarder. And there's nothing wrong with that. My season pass is $6.98. And I get on, I play. I barely pick up bounties. I mean, look at this. I still have bounties from, what is this? The Guardian games or whatever. I still have these bounties, dude. Like, when it comes to Destiny for me, I don't think bounties are the end game. I'd rather play the game and earn XP through it. I feel like if Bungie was to do this would be really neat. Tiers. If there were tiers to each thing that you were doing. A perfect example, if I'm playing Crucible, right? Quick play. My XP, let's say my XP is like 1,000, right? If I go into comp, my XP should be maybe like 2,000. If I go into trials, right? The higher you go up in ranking, the more XP you should get at the end of the activity. In PvE, if I'm doing a strike, sure, give me 1,000, right? At the end of it, or whatever. These are just generic numbers. I don't know exactly what the thing is. But then if I go into a Nightfall strike, that should scale to like almost like 2 or 3 times the XP that I'm getting in a Nightfall strike compared to a regular strike. It shouldn't be the same. If I go to a Grandmaster, which is like basically like, one of the hardest activities in the game that Bungie is like telling us, you should get 5 times the XP that you get in a normal strike. If I go into a raid, right, at least for the first completion of the week, that XP that you get at the end of the raid should be a lot more per encounter than it is when someone does one bounty. Like someone going to the moon and doing a bounty again, 10k XP. It's kind of ridiculous when you complete a strike and you get like 400 or something like that. I don't like reward people for their time, Bungie. Reward people for what they're doing. So the higher the risk, the higher the XP. Here's the thing. If a new season came out and I knew that even if I was under-leveled and I played the harder content, I would get more XP faster, I would do it. That would save a lot of people a lot of time. I don't know exactly what their whole like setup is or how they're trying to combat this, but Bungie has been pushing out that Witch Queen is going to have a lot of content, that we're going to be doing a bunch of things, even with the weapon crafting, right? You know what I have? I have weapon parts just set up. Because apparently we have a whole new weapon crafting system coming up. Now, they might throw a ringer in there and be like, oh, cool. We have a new weapon crafting system. We're going to have new materials that you need for it. Because there's a lot of things going away as well from like Beyond Light and till now, right? So that's another thing that we have to look into. But that's about it. I just wanted to like leave my thoughts on that. Either way, I'll be here playing Witch Queen. But I really encourage people to dive into other games from time to time. That is going to help you from getting burned out, and that's also going to help you mentally. Like, I play Genshin, I play Gunfire Reborn. These are pretty fun games. There are other games out there, and then you can always come back to Destiny, man. There's no game that feels like Destiny. I understand that. Like, movement-wise, the shots feel smooth. The game is beautiful. But mentally, I've seen people, like, force themselves to kind of play the game, and that's not how it's supposed to be, man. Video games are meant to be fun. Like, you're supposed to enjoy what you're doing. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, it kind of, like, shows it when you take that frustration out on others. And I think you'll be in a better headspace if you, like, found another thing to kind of enjoy. I know this one was, like, a therapy, weird advice video, but thank you very much for watching. I see you guys on the next one. If you like the content, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe. Also, what are your thoughts about this? I want to see in the comments, like, how do you feel about prepping? How do you feel about getting ready for a season? How do you feel about how Bungie's treating all of this, right? How do you feel about, like, their reaction to some of it? And don't forget to turn on notifications to all, and I'll see you in the next video.